Unbelievable. I'm going to go up to your website now and take a look at some of this stuff while we talk.
And that's you can link onto that one from the harassment page as well. But, let me tell you what the real big threat is.
And by the way, we've already linked up the Controlled America on your website on the Coast to Coast.
Yeah, Mary Ann Stratton, who runs that, has helped a lot of people that are harassment victims. And actually, this is going to be a 2-day event where there's going to be some very, very good speakers there as well. And I'll be there with all my equipment. And over the couple of years that I have been there, I've met some terrific people, and I've actually learned a lot. I'm always learning something.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
In terms of the worst threat right now, let me just mention something real quick. The worst threat right now is bugs that are cell phone bugs.
Cell phone bugs. Okay. So how do they go in the cell phone?
Well, here's what they are. They are cell phones that have been modified. And the way these cell phones work is instead of the microphone being a normal microphone in a cell phone where it only picks up close proximity, these microphones are set up to pick up a whole room.
Okay.
So the way you would use this bug is I would go and know that your corporation is having a meeting that's going to have some very significant information.
Right.
I would either be a rat and bring the cell phone with me, or I would leave the cell phone in the room, the meeting room, as if somebody left it there.
Yes.
Put it in a corner. The way this device works is it will automatically dial a listening post. And if you at the listening post have a recording device, then you just record what the cell phone is transmitting, which is excellent quality of the room audio. And the way the cell phone is set up is that if it drops link, it will automatically dial up.
It comes back and finds you again.
It will come back to dial back the listening post where the recording device is. And so, and it will also go the other way. If you're at the listening post, you can dial the cell bug, and it won't ring. It will link, but it won't ring.
Is this corporate espionage? Is this big business now?
Oh, sure. If you're talking about a new advertising campaign or new product information or design development information, it's worth billions. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you, what I've had to tell my Fortune 500 people is that right now, you got to check the cell phones outside the meeting room. When you're going to have meetings that are going to have information that relates to these kind of significantly important strategies and plans, etc. You got to sit a secretary outside the meeting room, and the rule is everybody checks their cell phone, and the secretary puts labels on the cell phones. Mr. Jones's phone, Mr. Smith's phone, and she does nothing but answer cell phones the whole time that she's sitting outside the room. But there are no cell phones allowed inside meeting rooms with critical information anymore.
It's at a point. Who do you trust?
Well, in the old days, they used to have me sit in an associated room with all my sweep equipment. We'd sit in there with a couple of spectrum analyzers, and we would just see if there were abnormal signals coming out of the room, and then we knew we had a rat or somebody had brought a transmitting device in.
Now, what do you do if your equipment registers that you've got that rat in that room? Do you go in there right away and catch him and get him out of there? Or
yeah. Well, that's generally the way it goes. At that point, we would sweep the bodies of the people that were in there and find out who's got it.
My gosh, he must be embarrassed. And then what happens to him?
Well, then some serious stuff comes down on somebody. Yeah.
Is it against the law to do that? I guess it is.
Yeah. Well, it all depends. Bugging normally has to do whether you have reasonable expectation of privacy. And if you're out in public, that's the reason they're able to get all the video cameras out in the public right now, is they come under reasonable expectation of privacy in the sense that you're not inside your home.
On the other hand, though, the cameras that are out there are also beneficial in that they sometimes catch kidnappings and things like that. So there is an upside to this big brother watching us, though not a big one.
Well, facial recognition to me is anytime you're asked to hand over your bio information, be it a fingerprint or a photograph, and they start making databases, which is really what they do.
Sure.
Or linking the cameras to databases of wanted people. To me, you have to remember that the founding fathers always thought that they never were thinking that you'd be able to take a camera with telephoto lenses that can go hundreds of yards and look at every wrinkle on your face, and then take an instantaneous photograph, then run that through a computer that digitizes it and puts you in a database.
They couldn't even comprehend that.
No, but this is real. This is exactly what's happening. They're digitizing faces, and then they can just run that link into the driver's license database. This is one of the reasons that the feds did this law this driver's license protection law a couple of years ago
Sure.
gave them access to all those databases.
Didn't they test a facial recognition equipment in Florida, and they arrested the wrong guy?
Yeah, that was the story on the season. Oh, that's right.
Some child payments. He was behind in his child support payments, but it wasn't the guy.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't think the technology is perfected, but the point is that nobody asked me permission to put me in the database. You see, that's the thing. If you're going to be in a database, then you really should be giving consent to do that.
Are they in the database? Those people who are putting us in it?
Probably as minimally as possible.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, generally, most of these people they're very savvy about things like offshore bank accounts and all that. I mean, look at Saddam Hussein. The guy probably has money all over the world. So.
By the way, you're good at surveillance. Why can't we find him?
Well, maybe it's not advantageous to do that at this point.
That could be.
You always have to look at the face of things.
And maybe we cut a deal.
It's hard to say. It's very hard to say. But the amazing part is that we're not finding any weapons of mass destruction, and that's very serious. Because what you've done is you've taken a sovereign nation and you have destroyed it. Now, we may not have liked what this guy was, and nobody condones torturing your own people and that kind of thing. But, where does it stop in the sense of, if you are a sovereign nation and you are considered a legitimate government, what gives the right of another government to just go in and just say you're out? And if it sets a precedent.
Sets a dangerous precedent.
And it does.
And, I would have, beginning, if they don't find any weapons of mass destruction, and Bush keeps saying that we will, then where are they? I want to know, when they said specifically that they had them, I want to know what proof they had to say that and where they were, because they've never come up with that. But I would have felt more comfortable if they said, this guy's a butcher, he's putting people in wood chippers, and we're not going to tolerate that anymore. To be more upfront like that, I think, is what you have to do.
Yeah, but of course, how many countries are doing that all around the world? So
most of them.
Then you're back to World Cop again.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. Look, next hour, let's talk about these chips and people. I mean, your stories are so fascinating. I could have talked about them all day. Your kind of equipment, is it getting smaller, too, because of technology?
It can. I don't like the new equipment because I don't like digitized equipment. I've been using analog equipment, and the thing about analog equipment, it has very finite resolution. When you start digitizing things, when you start breaking it into bits, then you start to get quantization errors and other kinds of distortions. And the bottom line in my business is wave pattern recognition.
Can they make equipment to circumvent your ability to find it?
Well, they thought they could, but so far they've failed so far. They've done some pretty slick things to try to beat me along the way. I must say, they've been very creative. Who
would be the biggest proponents of bugging? Government or private people?
Both.
Really?
Yeah. The important thing is that we look at what's really happening. One of these things that we really need to talk about here is this chemical and biological this law that's been on the books here that allows the government to do bioweapons experiments on civilian people.
Okay, let's talk about that, too, when we come right back, all right? Roger Tolsis, my guest. I'm George Norrie. Get up to his website. Take a look at some of the things there. I'll be back in a moment. This is Coast to Coast AM.